G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 5 of our Chaos Warlock playthrough, where in between episodes I did exactly what I said I was going to do, and I went and farmed up a Gaze of Ungoliax of the Grove. Now, it took me 17 kills here, but I did indeed get mine, and unfortunately it came with Vigorous instead of something like Stanching or Resistant or something like that, so no resistances for me. However, this one is fine, and 8% health is another one of those things that's going to scale with you. I just would have preferred some resistances. But you get what you get, and I'm not going to farm another one just to try and get resistances. I already killed it 17 times. I'm done. Speaking of 17 kills, let's go ahead and play the loot montage. Alright, so that was all my kills, and the next step of this character is to send Ulgrim over to Homestead, which I actually should have talked to, is it Colin? Colin Tavern, I think his name is. I should have talked to him first. Now I'll have to go find him in Homestead. It's fine, it's just a minor annoyance. So we're going to go and do a whole bunch of quest turn-ins now. So, sorry about your sister. If you haven't already, start talking to Isaiah, because he will sell you Spirit Mane ointments. And if your resistances are anything like mine, you will need them. Also, it's worth checking for Aether resistance on various items from these shops. This guy, Isaiah Redden, and also Morris up here. 13% is not really worth losing my amulet for. However, no, I would have to make another Aether Soul for that to work. So that's fine. If your resistances are really low, also do what I did, and go and kill Milton. Now, I killed him just now at level 30. He dropped me this helmet. This helmet is rubbish, but 30% Aether resistance on this. I believe that's the max roll. If you need Aether resistances, this is a really easy way to get it. He will drop his helmet every single time, and I think that 30 Aether res is like a 20 to 30 every time it drops. So this is a good way of getting it. The other thing we need to do is figure out how stairs work.
I wasn't sure.
Okay, and actually click on the tick there. The other thing we need to do is go talk to the Black Legion in Pine Barrens. This quest here, Weapons Master Borov, we don't talk to him, and we don't do his quest in hardcore. You can, but it's going to send you into the conflagration here. There's a lot of Aether Fire on the floor, and you have to walk through it to get to the cannons. There's also a boss at the end who can be a little rippy at this point, especially if you don't have good Aether resistances. Up to you if you want to try it. I pretty much never do it in hardcore. It's just not worth the risk to me. Alright, what do we want? What are you doing out here? Need any help? And, whoops, wrong button. What are you doing? Need any help? Continue. I will get you the venom. Do I not have left the venom in the bank? And I picked up another one specifically to avoid this. Apparently I threw it on the floor at some point, or maybe I put it in the bank.
I'll keep your stash safe.
It's okay. We have this one.
I'll hold on to that for you.
Alright, let's try that again. No wonder I couldn't find the option to just spam click through this. Okay. Here we go. I have the venom you need, and now we spam click. There's 31. What are you doing out here? Need any assistance? And click, 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 click. Done. Okay, so we get a huge chunk of XP from doing these quests. We also get a whole bunch of Black Legion reputation. This doesn't look like much, but actually it kind of is. 1,500. That's... Well, the only other way to get this aside from quests, is killing the Outcast, which, yeah, we could do that, but killing Ethereal Vanguard. These guys don't show up, aside from the occasional Totem. These won't show up until we get to the city of Malmouth. So, decent head start there. And Black Legion is one of the better reputations to have. Okay, so I think we're caught up on quests. I'll just do a quick double check. Clear the eggs, kill that guy. We're not doing the Forgotten Gods stuff just yet. Return to Minova. I will go and do that now, actually. And Calderos can wait pretty much forever. It's a long run out there. And it's not really worth it. There is a devotion shrine, but I'll probably get that at the end of normal. Alright, so attribute points. Now, in the guide I made, or in the plan I made, I had 10 points in Spirit at level 100. So if you want to put points in Spirit, it's not a horrible idea. I'm going to keep putting all of mine in Physique. But you could take Spirit, up to 10, and you'll be fine. You will need a lot of Physique to wear the armor that I'm going to suggest. So if you don't have all the Physique points, you will need to find an item with Physique on it, or you will need to find alternate gear. Right, with that said, let's go back to Homestead, and we'll get started killing some bugs. Now the plan is, for this episode, that we're going to get to sort of mid-30s, and we're going to start farming the amalgamation for an offhand. Now, you can probably just use whatever drops first. In a perfect world, you would get something with chaos damage on it. The pulsing shard has an Aether damage bias, though, so good luck. Generally, you just want something that's okay. Maybe resistances, maybe some sort of damage proc. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to get really nice chaos damage affixes on it. Okay, my eggs are done. So, time for breakfast. And also, this road just here, I think it's that one. Yep, runs straight to Dayla's house. Now, Dayla Thornberry is I don't know if I can call her a major character, but she has an entire quest line that starts with this diary. So, follow the road, grab the diary, and happy days. The next thing we need to find out here is another book. So there are 2 books out here that will give you a quest. The first one is Dayla's Diary, and the second one is The Last Will of, I think it's Marthas Everbrook, or something like that. I'm horrible with names and stairs. There's that devotion shrine. There's level 32, which is nice. Spite Wraith Girdle. I don't need the resistances for that, so I'm probably not going to wear it. The rest of this is fine. I do like weapons with damage procs on them. And I will keep this one, at least for a while. Because when we swap to Albrecht's Aether Ray and convert it to chaos damage, we will not be using the sigil for a little bit. So the MI weapon I have will become useless for a while, and it'll be nice to have a replacement. Okay, I do need my Aether Soul back. Now, I did just change... What are these called? Amulets? I did just change amulets, so my resistances are going to be a little messy, maybe. And I think everything else should be fine. I'm going to swap this in now. Like I said, it's a rubbish helmet in terms of armor and other stats, but my Aether resistance is so low that it kind of seems silly not to. I'm also going to swap in the Mistwalker leggings when we fight the Ethereal amalgamation, assuming I remember. Those I'm going to sell. These I'm also probably going to sell, but I did want to just point them out. They are a decent proc, so when you get hit, and you will get hit, it's going to give you the elemental seal there. At this point in the game, it doesn't really matter what type of damage you're doing. Just more damage is more better. May as well get rid of these as well. I'm not going to use any of these, so they can go. Right, now, as I was saying, I probably should have spent that devotion point too. What are we up to now? Here we go. So, Soleil's Witchblade, one more, and we'll have the Eldritch Fire. This is going to go on Albrecht's Aether Ray when we get it. Just mental blank on the name. Now, inside this little barn, it's a plus shape on the map. It's right next to the Devotion Shrine. You're looking for a body on the floor. It doesn't look like mine's here. There's 3 places it can be. First one is here. Second one I think is just up here. I can never remember if the house is north of the barn or if the barn is north of the house. Seems the barn is north of the house, so if we just head down a little bit, head south that is. Here we go. So, body here. Unfortunately, the quest item I'm looking for is not there. So there's 2 more places it can be. I'm going to head directly south from here and check this house. I guess that wasn't really directly south, but south-ish. So this barn, this house, and then this house here. Looks like he's also not here, so I've got the last spawn this time. May as well grab Walter's note while we're here. If everybody could just get out of the way, that'd be great. Yeah, so the body will be kind of right here, if he's in here. He is not here, so we'll be taking a short break from looking for him in order to go and save a demon from being trapped inside a little girl. And I do see that totem on the map. This is another one of the totems that I'm going to advise you not to do on hardcore, because it's ancient Aether warped, same as the one in the Warden's basement, and we don't really have amazing boss damage at the moment. Yeah, we could do it, probably, but it's just not worth the risk. So instead, from the Rift Gate, head down here. You may have to come, you may be able to come through this gap, you might have to go around, but you can come through here. And we're going to go around the top here. And hopefully I've still got dynamite. I do, good. So we'll eat those. So what we're doing here is we're trading a dynamite in exchange for a Blood of Chthon from Callista here, and also some XP. So you basically just take the bottom option until you get You Are a Deceiver demon, and then you kill Bogna the Hellfire. Now this is another one of those bosses that will build up damage over time effects on the floor underneath you. So as soon as you get close to killing this, you need to move. Your health bar will look fine, just like mine. And then as soon as this dies and you stop getting life back, you need to not be in the fire. So I'm going to go ahead and move now. There we go. You can see the ground is kind of still on fire there. Alright, so there's my Blood of Chthon. Got some reputation with the Rovers, a bunch of XP. Happy days. From here, you can just teleport straight back to the Rotting Croplands, and we'll be on our way. So like I said, I'm not going to do this particular totem. However, this is a good one for farming once you are decently strong. It's very close to the Rift Gate sometimes. So it's right here. Really easy to get to from the Rift Gate. You can see it from the Rift Gate. It's one of the few ancient Aether Warp totems that you can see without going for a lengthy jog. So it's a good one to farm if you can kill it. Now, I'm pretty sure I could kill it, but I'm also pretty sure it could kill me, so I'm just not going to take the risk. I'm going to walk away from that one. There's a couple other places it could be, so yours might not be there. But regardless, strongly recommend avoiding it if you don't want to die. Okay, no good loot, unfortunately. But if we just follow the road here, we want to head pretty much exactly due west for this house. Now, this house is where I'm going to get my note. This is the last place it can be. So if you get to this point and you haven't found it, you need to go back because you missed it. So there's the Will of Everbrook. It basically tells us of the location of a exalted stash. So we'll go and collect that. Your ancient Aether Warp Totem could be here. Could also be just up here next to the barn. And if it's not near one of these, then it's going to be way up north and not worth running to fetch. So when I'm farming, if I'm farming this one, I'll check here, I'll check here, I'll check here. If it's not there, I'll go somewhere else. But we are coming this way because of the Exalted Stash, not because of any ancient Aether Warp Totem spawn locations that I feel like showing you an empty patch of ground for. Here it is, we can see it on the map. Obviously it's a star. We clear the avalanche, we go on in, and there we go. Guaranteed blue, guaranteed to pretty much never be something you want to use, but it is a good shot at getting something. Maybe you'll get something nice, probably you won't. There we go. Alright, from here we're looking for the insect den. Now, you can skip the insect den and go do the amalgamation first. Doesn't really matter what order you do them in, you do have to do them both. But it's just a matter of finding the den, which is usually sort of in this area here. So we'll just run around until we find it. It is a random spawn, unfortunately. It does have set locations, but it's random which one it's going to be in. I don't think it spawns in this long area, but I'm going to check anyway. It was definitely worth coming down here to check. Alright, no loot, unfortunately. No bees, or no hive. Alright, we'll just go over here and check there. There it is. There it is, and of course this way is blocked, so I'll have to go back the way I came. Not a big deal. Resonant, what's that gonna be? Guess that's the elemental stuff there. Maybe not. And in we go. Now, earlier in the series I was saying, you know, stop killing things, don't get XP, but we have now got the amulet that I was doing that for, and because of that, I like XP again. Now, I'm going to go around here to get to that little cave. And here we go. Right, this particular little cave, there is one boss or one hero in here that you can kill. But the reason I come in here is to check for an exalted stash just here. Now, in this particular run, it's not here, which is, you know, it is what it is. But here we have Hiveguard Anoxus. Now, Anoxus is here most of the time. Sometimes he's over here, but you'll find him usually, and he's worth killing. Get a little bit of Homestead reputation, which we do want. At level 35, we'll get access to a whole bunch of reputation items. So we definitely want those. Homestead has a really nice pair of boots and gloves that I will be using. Note my health bar is halfway gone because I was standing in goop when something died and I stopped leeching. Alright, and now we just basically continue on our way. Now we're looking for the two, these guys, Grand Vizier Lozakal and whatever the other one's called, Grand Vizier someone else. And they have to die. They have pheromone sacs, which we're going to use in, you know what, never mind, we're starting a Blade Master. So I'm just going to delete this character and we'll be starting again. I won't be doing that, but this is a really good level 26 weapon. So Sinister is piercing damage, and Slayer is also piercing damage, and this is a triple rare. This is one of the incredibly rare times where all of the affixes on a triple rare, so rare prefix, monster infrequent, which we're calling a rare, and rare suffix, where they all line up and they're all doing the same damage type. And this is a really good item. Unfortunately, it's level 26, which means it's actually not a really good item. But if I was leveling a Nightblade, you know, Blade Master or anything like that, would be really, really good. Unfortunately, I'm not, and I'm not actually going to delete the character and reroll for a level 26 dagger, but that is a really good drop. I want to go into this cave entrance here, because we need to go and collect the One Ring and take it to Mordor. And we also have 3 levels worth of skill points to spend. And I think it's just going to go straight into the bar. Can get 1 point in Mirror because we're playing an Arcanist, and honestly, you're silly not to have Mirror on an Arcanist. I'll take 1 point in Nullification as well. This one's really good for purging, like, for example, shields on Cronley. It's good for getting rid of various damage buffs as well, if you can get it. And it'll also reduce the enemy's target, or the target's elemental damage. You see that there. So anything that does elemental damage to you, you probably want to be using that for. And if you're anything like me, you'll probably think about that just after you kill it, having never used it. Looks like I've got the worst spawn. This rock here is the bane of my existence. So when we come out of here, what's going to happen is I'm going to think we're on the floor above this one. I'm going to come out here, I'm going to run all the way over here, and then go, oh, we're on that floor, and I'll have to run back. There's Respected with Homestead. That means the level 35 stuff is now accessible. Check up here as well for your Exalted stash. This not being here tells me that I'm going to get mine in the Queen's room. This rock here actually kind of makes my little point earlier about going the wrong way moot, because I can't go the wrong way. But I will often come out of there, go completely the wrong way, and then have to backtrack. I don't know what it is, there's just something about that particular area that I always get wrong. Right, this Devotion Shrine can be a little rippy as well. Now, we have 2 damage procs at this point, once we kill this, but only 1 offensive spell. So what you can do, I'm gonna take Flame Torrent off of Sigil once we get this devotion point. But you don't have to do that. You can put Soleil's Witchfire onto your dashing skill. There's a lot of poison there, so just beware. So you can put, what do we got? This one on. I'm going to put the Flame Torrent onto the Sigil, and I'm going to put Eldritch Fire onto the Sigil of Consumption. So now I dash at things and it procs Flame Torrent, and this one will proc a Spreading Fire Resistant Shred, Chaos Resistant Shred, which is kind of exactly what we want. So here's Gollus, and he's got his ring that he liked very, very much. And we're going to kill him. Eventually. It is worth using the dash now, and you'll note that because the dash has a cooldown, it's going off a lot more often. It's actually a 100% chance on attack now, so every time we use this, we will be getting that Flame Torrent proc. Okay, his ring is quite good if you're doing any kind of shaman, any kind of demolitionist. If you're doing a soldier and you happen to be using Menhir's Bulwark, really good for the skill points. But this is basically a regeneration ring. Will I end up using this anyway? I might. pierce and poison on a single ring. I may swap this in instead of the Skinner family seal, because I don't really need the physical damage on that. Don't forget to pop the fancy chest here. You probably never get anything nice, but also another Lord of the Rings reference, you know, river between the two poles. Where have we seen that before? And then we'll just walk out kind of the way we came in. You can go complete the loop. This is a big circle, so you can go kill the extra stuff the other way if you want. I'm not going to bother. Right, so all that we have left is one more of the viziers, and then we have to collect ourselves a queen. Now, the queen is an Aliens reference, so there's a lot of Easter eggs in this game. Is it an Aliens reference or an AVP reference? Which is the one where the queen is kind of stuck to the wall and then tears herself off? I think it might be Aliens vs. Predator, actually. Which was an okay movie, but Aliens was better. Yeah, I don't think it was actually Aliens. I think it was Aliens vs. Predator where that happened. Alright, come and stand in the red thing. So you'll notice now that the boss and all the little things around them sometimes have a red kind of glow on them. This red glow here specifically. That is Salil's Witchfire. That is shredding their chaos and fire resistance. And we are doing a lot of chaos damage here, so that's what that one's for. Now, when you go to fight the queen, what do we need to look out for? Okay, so poison resistance. Mine, I think, is capped. Yep. If you're not capped, consider going back to Homestead and getting capped. You can get some resistance potions to poison from Isaiah Redden. You could maybe swap in a few other items. Maybe you have some pants or shoulders or something you can swap. It is really advisable to do this fight with max poison res. You may get away with not having that. On hardcore, I would say just don't fight her unless your resistances are capped. Here is my Exalted stash, which is the reason I came in here. Doomforged breastplate. I'm looking at the armor. I'm looking at the Aether resistance. +2 to Salil's Witchfire is neither here nor there. I will probably wear this for the Abomination fight. I'm not sure why I kept this. I think it was just another blue item I found while I was farming the amulet. Okay, so here's the queen. And you can just run around and try not to stand in the poison. You can throw a seal underneath her and hide around the corner. This poison shouldn't hit you while she's doing that. The other thing you can do is just get in her face. She'll stop spitting poison at you. I think mostly. She may still do it. But her melee attacks while she's attacked to the wall are not particularly scary. And with the amount of lifesteal we're doing, it's fine. When she gets off the wall, which is going to be basically when we kill her, the things you need to watch out for are more or less just the falling rocks. They will hurt a lot. One thing you do have in your advantage, though, is we do now have the mirror. So that is complete damage immunity for, I think it's 3 seconds. So when she yells, basically, you want to watch out for rocks. When she does that, I'm going to just run over here. And we'll fight her over here. So we are still using enough energy to run out. Okay. And we've now got to move again. You probably can take a hit or two from those meteors, or not meteors, from the roof falling down, but it's just kind of not worth it. Just do the mechanics and don't die. Ravenous Claw, decent if you're being if you're playing a shield chucker. That is probably the weapon I would recommend if you're going to do acid shield chucking. This is not an Oathkeeper though, so we're not doing that. Right, all we have left to do is we need to go and kill the Ethereal amalgamation. Now, I think the offhand, the Aether, the Pulsing Shard, I think that's a level 37 item. It may be 35. We will burn that bridge when we get to it. But we have to get one first, which means we have to kill it. And it will drop it every single time, which is nice now. So you can kill it a few times to try and get one you like. I'm probably just going to take the first one that drops and be happy. As I said, it does have an Aether damage bias, so any percent Aether damage stuff on it just doesn't work for us. It does nothing. But we'll have that particular chat either at the end of this episode or probably next episode when we make the swap over. I think you need more levels. Right, heading in here, the first thing to do is to kill the Aether clusters. And then anything else. And basically stay away from the barn while you're doing this. And now the fun part. So we are actually decently low damage build. So this is going to take a little while. Now I'm going to actually do what I should have done earlier and get my Aether resistances up. Now when he does that, the next thing he's going to do is these waves. So they sunder, and they actually will hurt a lot. So when you see these go up, next thing is going to be the waves. Next thing is going to be do the waves. There we go. Doesn't really matter if you get sundered if you're all the way out here. But if he's standing right in front of you and all of those waves hit, you're dead. Okay, so I'm expecting another wave of sunders. I think I may have ran away prematurely. There we go. Maybe we'll just wait for the little glowy icon above his head. So coming soon. Here we go. Alright, and now we just run around him. Okay, so he's gone down. Now I've got of the abomination, which I think is the vitality damage on there. And this one is a level 32. So I'm pretty happy to do this now. Also got the Explorer's Tunic, which I'm not making that set this time. It's a pain in the backside. So Milton's hat can go away now. Once you're at this point, you don't really need Aether resistance until you get to Lucius, probably, in Fort Icon. So I'm going to swap these out now, and do I want to keep the Doomforged breastplate? I think probably no. So what we want to do now is head back to town, and I'm going to go to Devil's Crossing, because we're going to do our little respecking. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and do a little selling. I do want that ring back, though. Let me keep that ring. Watch me sell it again now. Okay, don't need that. Chaos Resist is actually under control, and that's mostly due to this MI for 20%, and this MI for another 25%. I will show you the boots you can get to boost this again, but I don't need them, which is nice. I think the rest of this stuff can stay. Now, like I said, this is one of the very, very rare, triple rare items that's actually really good. But, yeah. Don't need it for this build. And I'm not planning on leveling anything that would use it for a while. And also, I don't share gear between characters anyway, so... RIP. Alright, let's sort this slot out. I don't know why I kept that helmet. Now, the fun part. So we're doing the respec, so I'm going to just chuck those on now. And I'm going to melt both of these to get the components back. So, new items, new weapons. If you don't have a weapon like this, it is perfectly fine to just keep using whatever Bloodsworn Scepter you had. I just happened to find a Weapon of the Void here. It's got that Arcane Blast. That's going to be doing a little bit of fire damage, which we do shred resistances for. And Aether damage, which we don't, but it's still damage.
What troubles you?
So, all the points out of Destruction, all the points out of Sigil of Consumption, which we'll actually need to
Safe journey.
take this off of.
What troubles you?
So all the points out of the Occultist tree. Every single one of them. Goodbye, Occultist.
Farewell.
And hello, Arcanist. Now, there are going to be a couple of issues with this. The big one is going to be you are not going to have enough energy regeneration to fire this off and just run it full time. So start out at something like 10. Make sure you're converting it to Chaos and Vitality. And then this one here, maybe leave that off for just for the moment. And we will just see how much energy regeneration we have. How many ectoplasms we have. I've only got 2. I think you can craft those. Now these will go in your head, your rings, your amulets. So every one of these you have to use is an Aether Soul you can't use, is a Ward Stone you can't use, is a Soul Stone you can't use. All of these are giving resistances, so I don't want to use an ectoplasm. Now, I don't have anything on my helmet yet, so I can use one without really worrying about it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the Bone Talisman here. If you pick this up earlier, you'll note that the mana infusion there gives you 10 seconds of 20 energy regenerated per second, and also 30% increased energy regen. So that is, what do we got? 200 energy, which is actually not very much. So that's like this much. And if we fire off the beam, that's about 3 seconds. Okay, so at level 10, without putting too many points into disintegration, that's what we've got. Now, this is going to kill anything that's not a boss pretty much instantly. So I'm happy to leave this at 10 for the moment. I do also want to max out Mental Alacrity here. So this is going to reduce the cost, so minus 21%. And like I said, this is a max me out kind of thing. The casting speed will increase the amount of energy we're using, which is unfortunate. And I'm going to put 1 point in disintegration, just to have it. So there we go. Because how this works is every second, so if you look at the orange text there, at 100% cast speed, Aether Ray deals damage and drains energy every 0.3 seconds. So we're spending 156 energy every 0.3 seconds. But actually, it's a little bit more than that, more often than that, because we have 23% casting speed. So we're burning through energy very quickly, and it's not coming back very quickly. So maybe I do want to have actually another ectoplasm somewhere. But we definitely need to find a solution to energy. So Equilibrium here, I want to keep because it's my elemental resistance. If you have this, I recommend using it for this section here. The mana regen will be very, very nice. Can I afford to lose? Yeah, I might have to lose the Ward Stone for another one. We'll see how it goes. There's not a whole lot of vitality damage, except for the section we're about to do, so that's going to be fun. Let's get rid of this, and we'll go try out a new skill. As soon as I get my components back. If you don't want to break these also, you can just make new ones. I'm gonna kill these. Because we're about to come into an area where we get a whole bunch of those Bloodsworn, what are they, Bloodsworn Scepters. So we'll be getting better ones. They'll have much better affixes, so I don't care about that. And we now have a better offhand than that shield, so I never want to use that shield again either. We get +2 to our main skill, with the pulsing shard, we get crit damage, we get, most importantly, 8% of attack damage converted to health to Albrecht's Aether. Without this specific item, or one of a handful of other ones in the game, I think at level 94 only, without them, we cannot life leech with Albrecht's Aether. So we'll just go for a little bit of a run around, and turn in some quests. And we'll see how the energy situation works. Now, energy potions... do they give a percentage? They do give a percentage. So the more you have, the more they give you. So that's nice. I think we can probably sell all of this now. Vitality res. I do need some more of that. But, it'll be fine. Alright. This is another one that would be okay. If you get something like this, it's probably fine. We don't really do fire damage, I don't think. I think it's all vitality and chaos. Let's just double check. We do actually do a little bit of fire damage with Albrecht's Aether, so... because it starts with fire, and we're only converting the Aether, which now shows as chaos, and then the lightning, which for some reason still shows as lightning. So we should be doing fire, vitality, chaos, Aether damage for some reason. Interesting. It does say 100% conversion, so I wouldn't expect to see Aether there. That's fine. We'll do a bunch of quest turn-ins. And then I'll probably go for a bit of a run. Alright, as far as who to choose. I don't think it matters. Yeah, I can't remember any reasons why you want to pick one over the other, so I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter for this character. Am I sure about that? No. Should I check? Yes. Am I going to? No. Am I going to stop asking questions? Probably not. Alright, we're going with the Death's Vigil just because I prefer them. We've just hit 34, which is also good. So now you could go back for Occultist and get your Sigil, which is probably not a bad idea. I'm going to put a few more points in some of the Arcanist stuff first. Also want to get Overload at some point. The Aether resistance there will be very nice. Also the offensive ability. We actually have no chance to crit. We can't crit at the moment, which is not ideal. Also remember to put your Eldritch Fire back onto your main attack. Minus 5% is not huge, but this will not level if you don't have it applied to a skill. Same with Flame Torrent. Right, let's go blow some Chthonic peoples up. Try out our new skill. So with this, you don't want to hold the beam on anyone, you just want to kind of sweep it through them. There we go. Void Touch to the Void. Literally the first thing we killed, and this is better than the one I had. So I'm going to hang on to this. I probably will use that once I can. It's got, what, a little bit less % chaos damage, but it also has a chunk of offensive ability and a resistance. So I'll probably swap back over to that once I have the levels to use it. Let's go ahead and do this Totem. Now, we are going to be a little bit squishy at this point, and we don't quite have the damage to just do the sweepy thing. Okay. While we're being attacked, actually, we do get, if you have a look on the soul shards here, 30% energy absorbed from enemy spells. So while we're being attacked by people who attack us with spells, energy is not an issue. Okay. Big, Dumb, and Slow. Unfortunately, Big, Dumb, and Slow is also heavily resistant to the damage types we do. So, we will kill them. It's just going to take a little bit. Don't think anyone else should be coming out of that totem, but it's a definite maybe. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so what this has basically taught me is, well, that's a good ring to have. is that my damage against Chthonics is pants. So Thalnosh is going to be fun. Alright, what do we get? Terra. +1 to occultists and some chaos stuff. This is decent. Terra, the skill, we would have to cast it, but it does do chaos damage. And reduce enemy targets' resistances. Okay, Terra is very nice. 9 Blood of Chthon, and also another relic we would have to make. And also a Bloody Whetstone and Void Touched Ammo. This one's going to take a while to make, but this is actually a pretty good option. I ideally want Haunt, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and swap this one in here. And you know what? I'm going to put another Ectoplasm on here. I shouldn't, because 50% Vitality res. But I'm going to do it. Let's go up to the next Rift Gate, and then that'll be it for this episode, I think. These guys are going to be a problem. Not a big problem, but a problem. So, don't do a huge amount of damage against Chthons. Maybe we shouldn't have converted it just yet. Stick with Aether for a while. There we go. Energy is pleasantly under control, actually. I would say this is fine. I was actually surprised it was that good, so I think we can put some more points in here. Now, I do want more chaos rather than vitality. So the lightning damage on here is kind of so-so. I think we just max out the Aether Ray. It's still draining a decent amount of energy, but it's also kind of under control. And that's % spirit stuff here, minus energy cost here, and then on the actual weapon, minus energy cost as well. But that'll do for this episode, so I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.